Hello, students of Da Vinci School. Today, I'm going to talk about why you shouldn't eat bread and milk.
What? But milk and bread are two things we eat like every day.
I'm sure there are many who eat milk and bread for breakfast.
Milk seems healthy and bread's fine if it's not the high-calorie sweet bread.
Some people may think that milk is rich in calcium or that it strengthens bones. Some people may even think that bread is healthier than white rice. However, have you ever had a stomachache after drinking milk or felt sick after eating bread?
I remember that I used to go straight to the toilet after drinking milk, and eating bread made me extremely sleepy.
That's actually a good reason for that too. Let's take a look at why bread and milk can make you feel worse or worsen your chronic illness.
Thank you very much.
Bread is a precious food that has been eaten in the West since ancient times. However, research has shown that the gluten in bread can damage the intestines and cause health problems.
Is that so? If they've been eaten for so long, why haven't they been told that they're bad for you until now?
In fact, modern wheat is completely different from what Westerners used to eat in ancient times.
What? What do you mean?
Wheat has been bred to have a shorter growing season so that it can be harvested sooner. This breeding process has made it possible to produce a fluffy texture.
It is true that the bread sold nowadays gives the impression of being fluffy and chewy.
But this breeding process has resulted in bread that contains a lot of gluten.
What happens when gluten is added?
At the cost of taste and texture, bread with a lot of gluten and additives is not easily digested by the human body. And undigested bread remains in the intestines, making it easier to enter the body. This undigested bread is considered foreign by the body, and scary enough, antibodies are formed to attack the undigested bread.
Antibodies?
Antibodies are normally used to protect the body from foreign substances such as bacteria and viruses. But since the gluten in wheat is not easily digested, the body sees it as a foreign substance and creates antibodies to attack it. This is the cause of wheat allergies.
I'm getting creeped out.
But the real horror of wheat is not that it produces antibodies.
Oh, there's more?
The antibodies that form against gluten turn into antibodies against our organs.
It's powered up!
In fact, the amino acid sequence of gliadin, a component of wheat gluten, and a part of our cerebellum are very similar.
So, what does that mean?
Antibodies identify enemies by their amino acid sequence, so antibodies made against gluten can mistakenly attack the tissue in our cerebellum as an enemy. What's more, it can cause diseases related not only to the cerebellum, but also to nerve cells, liver, thyroid, ovaries, testes, etc.
No way! That's scary! Oh, by the way, anything made from wheat means no udon, ramen, or pasta, right?
Yes, that's correct.
No way! I can't even imagine living without wheat!
It would be quite a hurdle if I were asked to stop all of these. So for now, just bread is enough. Additives, when taken alone, do not do much harm. Noodles have few additives, and powdered foods such as okonomiyaki are almost exclusively wheat, so they are less harmful to the body compared to bread.
I see. So the percentage of additives in bread that are harmful to the body's large.
Since wheat products such as pasta, udon, ramen, and okonomiyaki contain fewer additives and gluten than bread, it is not necessary to stop eating them just yet.
I'm glad. I think I could keep going if I quit eating bread. Do you think you can stop eating bread? Let me know in the comments.
Next, let's talk about milk. Milk also has a long history of being passed down as being good for you.
That's right. If it were really bad for you, there's no reason why people would continue to drink it all the way up to the present.
In fact, there was a time when milk was used as a medicine, and raw, unheated milk was taken as medicine.
So it wasn't disinfected by heating?
Unheated milk contains enzymes that break down casein, and raw milk also contains many nutrients and good bacteria, such as lactic acid bacteria. However, for hygienic reasons, milk is now heated, and most of it is pasteurized at 120 to 130 degrees Celsius for 3 to 3 seconds.
This is the kind of milk being distributed today?
Enzymes, which are made of protein, lose their activity when heated above about 60 degrees Celsius. Heating can kill the harmful bacteria that cause food poisoning, but it also kills the good bacteria in it.
Good bacteria!
Heating also denatures proteins, making them harder to digest and absorb. It also destroys vitamins and minerals. In addition, commercial milk is homogenized, which can produce trans fatty acids that cannot be digested by the human body.
Whoa, I'm getting scared all of a sudden.
Today, many dairy cows are fed genetically modified food, hormones, and antibiotics. The milk from those cows, of course, contains those ingredients as well.
I don't think I drink it anymore.
Now, just like with bread, some people may wonder if they should stop drinking milk only, or if they should stop consuming other dairy products as well. I think it would be very difficult to quit all dairy products at once. Therefore, I recommend quitting milk, which is the least difficult of all. As with bread, there are multiple factors that can cause harm, but the most important one is casein, a protein contained in milk.
Casein?
Simply put, casein is very hard for our bodies to digest, and it puts a strain on our intestines and bodies.
It's true when you drink milk, your stomach immediately starts to rumble.
But that's not to say that all dairy products are bad. Yogurt and cheese have the advantage that casein is broken down to some extent by fermentation during the cooking process, making digestion easier. However, some people get sick from yogurt, so be sure to take what is right for your body. It's easy to check, and if you're feeling well after eating yogurt, you can continue eating it. But if you're eating yogurt and your intestinal condition worsens, or if you have repeated bouts of constipation or diarrhea, you might want to cut back on yogurt.
If you eat yogurt for bowel control and get an upset stomach, it's not good for you.
Now that you know why you should stop eating bread and milk, let's talk about how much bread and milk you should stop eating and what you should eat. Each person has different requirements, but the common recommendation is to quit bread and milk for 3 weeks.
Why 3 weeks?
The reason is that 3 weeks is a standard period of time for the antibodies formed from bread and milk to disappear from the body. In some rare cases, it may take up to 6 months, but it's better to start with 3 weeks.
It'll keep you motivated for a shorter period of time if you break it up tightly.
By that time, you would often feel refreshed because your stomach is no longer tight, your daytime sleepiness disappears, your mind becomes clearer, you feel less tired, and other bothering discomforts disappear. If you continue to do so, you will find that your symptoms and illnesses will improve.
It's not like a sauna, but it's similar to getting in shape, isn't it?
Yes, I agree. It's just that the 3 weeks may be too hard for you, and you may end up eating dairy and wheat products just for a little bit. But it's best not to rush and take it easy at your own pace.
It's best not to put too much stress into it.
If you really want to eat bread, you can eat bread made from rice flour instead of bread made from wheat.
I've heard that tennis player Novak Djokovic is allergic to gluten, so he substitutes rice.
And muffins made with rice flour are pretty tasty too. Just don't eat too much of them, even if they are delicious. It doesn't contain gluten, but your blood sugar level will rise just like wheat.
It's not so easy after all.
Recently, the term gluten-free has been gradually gaining popularity, and I think more and more people are becoming suspicious of wheat and dairy products. However, the reality is that there are still many people who are in the minority and are still drinking milk thinking that it's good for them, or that there is nothing wrong with bread.
I thought so too until I listened to this class.
To sum it up, the first is that the gluten in bread is poisoning the body. The second is that milk is hard to digest and absorb when it is heated and processed, which makes you feel sick. And the third is that you need to go without bread and milk for 3 weeks to regulate your body. There is a possibility that bread and milk are the cause of mysterious health problems, so this might be a good opportunity to look into.
I see. First, I'm going to improve my diet for 3 weeks to get my body healthy.